Good evening. In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions. The majority in cases from Texas and Georgia said that the decision to end a pregnancy during the first 3 months belongs to the woman and her doctor, not the government.
To many, the debate over the ethical concerns with abortion begins with Roe v. Wade, but the controversy has been with us for centuries. Ancient cultures addressed it. Even Plato and Aristotle spoke of terminating pregnancies, both for and against, depending on the mother's health and when life begins. In the 1700s, America, under British common law, permitted abortion before quickening, or before fetal movement could be detected. But by the mid-19th century, nearly all states had banned abortion in almost any instance. But starting in the 1970s, ideas began to change, and so did the laws involving abortion. This is right around the time when Roe v. Wade was brought to the Supreme Court.
In the area of abortion is that I am opposed to it as a matter of birth control or otherwise.
We can support a woman's right to choose that makes abortion safe, legal, and rare, and reduces the number of abortions.
Partial Birth Abortion Ban Act of 2003 becomes the law of the land.
Abortion is an ethical issue because there are extreme conflicting opinions. The major debate surrounding abortion is whether or not it is morally right to terminate a pregnancy before childbirth. There are some who believe that abortion is always wrong, then there are others who believe that abortion is right when the mother's life is at risk. Others think that there is a range of circumstances in which abortion is morally acceptable. This topic is extremely painful and sensitive for women and men who often find themselves facing this moral dilemma. This is one of the most moral issues in the world. This argument often becomes religious and oftentimes non-religious. The argument poses questions such as, is a fetus a human being? What gives someone the right to life? Is the fetus separate from its mother as a being? And under what circumstances can we take an innocent human life? These are often the questions asked in the face of abortion arguments. In essence, the issue of fetal rights always hits a woman's rights, and it is a constant argument about whether abortion should be legal. There is a key question that doctors and philosophers have spent time debating on. At what point does a fetus become a human being? There are so many different beliefs about when human life begins. These beliefs and ideas have all affected the morality of this issue. It is obvious why abortion is such an ethical issue with the continuous fight over its legality.
Huge wave of anti-abortion laws, banning abortion after 20 weeks, requiring doctors to perform ultrasounds when doctors don't believe it's medically necessary. So all of these regulations, what they do is that they don't criminalize the procedure, they just make it more costly and more difficult for women to access.
Through to a woman's right to make the ultimate decision.
Roe v. Wade is a landmark decision by United States Supreme Court on the issue of abortion. Texas statute made it a crime to attempt an abortion except when medically advised for the purpose of saving the life of the mother. Appellant Jane Roe sought a declaratory judgment that the statute were unconstitutional on their face and injunctions to prevent defendant Dallas Court District Attorney from enforcing the statutes. Appellant alleged that she was unmarried and pregnant and that she was unable to receive a legal abortion by a licensed physician because her life was not threatened by the conjunctions of her pregnancy, and that she was unable to afford to travel to another jurisdiction to obtain a legal abortion. Appellant sued on her behalf of herself and all other women similar situated, claiming that the statutes were unconstitutional, vague, and abridged her right of personal privacy protection by the First Amendment. Roe v. Wade reshaped national policies, dividing much of the United States into pro-choice and pro-life camps, while activating grassroots movements on both sides.
Well, hello there, and I think it's been long enough on the topic.
Abortion and a woman's right to choose has been heavily debated over the years and continues to be a hot topic. Individually, each member of the Legal Eagles all took a serious and sound stance concerning this topic. After much discussion, we agreed and believe that all women have the right to choose whether they want to see their pregnancy to full term or not, but should have an ethical and moral justification for terminating their pregnancy. Abortion has been dubbed as one of the most ethically controversial topics discussed today due to a vast majority of issues that are arisen at the time of conception, including, but not limited to, the rights of the mother, father, and unborn child. Was this pregnancy a result of incest or rape? Is the man being deprived his right to choose whether he becomes a parent or not? And last but not least, is this fertilized egg now able to be considered a human, and does it have unalienable rights? These are all questions that have been asked, discussed, and debated, posing abortion to be the predominant ethical issue today.
One of the leading questions involving the abortion debate is simply, is it constitutional or not? The issue directly links to the First Amendment of the United States Constitution and two of its clauses, the free exercise of religion, and the right to peacefully assemble. The debate impacts religion due to the fact that many religions throughout the world see abortion as a severe sin or wrongdoing, and at times see it just as severe as murder, therefore giving American religious people reasons to petition and assemble against the laws allowing abortion, which leads us to the right to peacefully assemble clause. One of the most well-known gatherings of pro-life activists in the world is the March for Life in Washington, D.C. Thousands of people come from all over the United States to exercise their First Amendment rights and march in front of the United States Capitol building against pro-abortion laws and pro-choice politicians.
Ahead of them, birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own. This is our first task. Caring for our children. If we don't get that right, we don't get anything right. That's how, as a society, we will be judged. And by that measure, can we honestly say that we're doing enough to keep our children, all of them, safe from harm? I've been reflecting on this the last few days, and if we're honest with ourselves, the answer is no. These tragedies must end. We will be told that the causes of such violence are complex, and that is true. But that can't be an excuse for inaction. If there's even one step we can take to save another child, surely we have an obligation to try. Are we really prepared to say that we're powerless in the face of such carnage? That the politics are too hard? Are we prepared to say that such violence visited on our children year after year after year is somehow the price of our freedom?
When does someone become a person?
Now, from our own personal opinion, we believe that there is no remedy for this ethical issue. You have one spectrum that says that it is a woman's body and they have the right to choose what they want. The only issue they have with it is when they abuse it as a form of birth control. The other spectrum, due to beliefs or personal convictions for pro-life, unless a woman is raped. A woman is entitled to her own personal judgment. If she feels this child will need a better life, then she has the need to put them in foster care, or whether she should let them live at all. Considering that this debate has been occurring for years, no one has yet to alleviate this issue.
I think it really takes the hearts of people to realize that life within the womb is real, it's a human being, and each is unique. And when people's hearts and minds are changed, then abortion becomes unthinkable.
Any sort of law that tries to restrict people being able to use their best judgment to make decisions about their bodies is like counter to justice and progress.
Federal government.
This production has been brought to you by the Legal Eagles, covering abortion as an ethical issue in law and ethics. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video.